Good afternoon. I am Mrs. Susan Fumapa. I'm from ELCPNG, Papua-Neuguinea. I am the principal of Lutheran Church College, Banz, an institution run by the Evangelical Lutheran Church of Papua-Neuguinea. It was established in 1950s as a young Pionierin agriculture college. And then later, under the colonial administration of Australia, the curriculum was changed into English since Papua New Guinea was under Australian government after the World War. And the German missionaries returned back. The church was working in partnership with Australia. And so the school was then shifted up to this current Western Highlands Agriculture College. The church then changed the young Pionierin into Lutheran Development Service. During that time, there was an expansion of the Highlands mission. That's where the missionaries stored all the things at Lutheran Church College Banz. They call it Lutheran Development Service and expanded the mission field. Later, it was shifted down to Malahang, where it is now, in Ley. And in 1987, under Reverend Helmut Hondas as the Ministerial Training Division Director, they revived that college again and named it as Lutheran Admin College to cater for admin staffs to work within the church. And then not long, there was, at that time, Reverend Dr. Philip Bauenstein, he was the first principal to the college. He's from Germany. And they started teaching admin courses. That includes basic bookkeeping, management, and also secretarial courses. These are basic so that they train young people to go out and work with the church. But then eventually it grew up into a college. When I joined Lutheran Church College in 2010, there were two streams already existing. One was business admin, and the other one, they call it Work Merit Training Program or Parish Workers. And when I got into 2010, I started teaching, and I saw that there were lots of social issues affecting the youth and the women. And usually that ministry course was designed for the female. But when I get in there, the male students also, they were so interested that they want to join the ministry, Parish Workers Program. So in 2011, I started with 3 students, 2 female students and a male student. And then in 2014, the number increased to 18. So from there, I redeveloped the curriculum again. Included HIV/AIDS, alcohol and drug abuse, divination, and sorcery. There were other related courses, gender and theology. So this made up the whole ministry courses, which fits into the current contemporary church. And 2013, under Reverend Joseph Benson as the principal, we streamed the school into 3 streams: tropical agriculture, business admin, and applied ministry. Today we have 3 streams. We reviewed the curriculum in 2024. Last year, when I was appointed the principal, it was in 2022. in April, the principal left. The school shut down in 2021. When we came back, there were only 13 students. And I enrolled those 13 students. The principal never returned Francis Ambuk from Medellin. So there was no money, nothing. I encouraged the community. We provided food for them, and the teachers taught the students. The students also were encouraged to provide their own food. So we started with 18 students, 13 continuing, and 5 joined in later. And with those 13 students, they appointed me as a caretaker principal in 2021 April. And in June, I submitted the first progressive report. So they said, give her the 6 months to complete the year. And in November Church Council, I submitted another second report. And so they said, okay, we are able to receive a well-documented report from this principal. Let's allow her to be the principal for the first term. And in 2023, I had from 18 students, 12 graduated and 5 remained, and then we had another 43 students enrolled, so a total of 58. In 23, we graduated only 5 students. In 24, we graduated 20 students. And with these 13 students, it was the first time I ordered gowns for them from Philippines. They had gowns, they graduated with gowns, 24, 25, and 26 we had the largest number ever, that was 67 from all streams. And my term ended last year. The board renewed my contract again. So this year, and I have 2 years more to go. Within that period of time, I find it very, very challenging. When it comes to leadership, that was the first time in the history of ELCPNG, after 137 to 38 years of being from Elkong, New Guinea into an independent state, 1975 until now, a woman had ever occupied a male position, a position in any higher institution of the church. So I'm the only female working with 10 male staff. It wasn't that easy for me. It was very much challenging to the extreme. They also presented a petition to remove me from the position. But the church decided that I did some changes by God's grace through faith, though there were no funds. I was able to manage the school with the school fee collected, and also through overseas partnership church, tuition fee for the students from Papua-Neuguinea who are sponsored by partner circuits from Bavaria, America. Major, it was in Germany. And also from Morobe provincial government, Medellin, Raikos. They also support the college through scholarship. So that's where I picked up. But when I went in there was zero balance, no money. When I closed the school, it was with 38,000. And this is something, it's beyond. when you want to manage a school, you have to have 400,000 to 500,000 to manage a school. But it was a miracle that I was able to make it through. Very good question. I think the world is looking at Papua-Neuguinea, and it's classified as one of the worst, corrupt country in the world. And when it is labeled as a corrupt country in the world, you talk about sexual violence, domestic violence, anti-social behavior is on the rise, including HIV/AIDS, torturing, whatever you think. Sometimes this is very, very high. There is lack of law and order problem. Even when we report the law enforcing organizations or institutions are not able to provide assistance. When you look at the ALC-PNG women, from 1.2 million Christians, 50% of those Christians are women in ALC-PNG, in the church alone. And they are affected daily, but they are not being exposed or disclosed. And this is the challenging position of women in ALC-PNG. From an institutional experience, I do have girls coming in, students, for counseling. They discuss with me about incest from their childhood experience. Being like, having sexual relation forced by their boyfriends. And they blame themselves for that. They see that they are sinners. They are also, they've been raped by close family members. And these are some of the things that are suppressed within them. And in situations like this, they look up on pastors. Now, pastor plays an important role in this situation. But it is not the pastor that makes a difference, but then it is the word. The difference there is the word. When a pastor is there to provide pastoral counseling and also able to confess and absolution, where the pastor exercises the work of the key. Like he said, okay, after he hears the client is expecting this word. I, as the servant of God, do clearly announce and declare it. Now your sins are forgiven. You may go in peace, love, and serve the Lord. I cannot perform the power of the key. Though I have this theological background, and this is the challenging part. And I'm just giving an example from an institutional experience. But when you look at the church as a whole, there is a great need. And, like you look at the story of Jesus, the crowd were following. They had different reasons. They needed something. And there was a woman who was bleeding for 11 years. She needed to be healed. She wanted to be the part of the social community. She wanted to feel the presence of the Lord. She wanted to be renewed, reconciled, and healed. These are something that takes place within the power of the word. That is something that is lacking. Now, when the women came over, she touched the dress of Jesus Christ, the Lord. There was an instant healing. You look at ALC-PNG women, they carry lots of problems within them. But they cannot go. They have not seen Jesus in the pastoral care. I have also asked many pastors, how many women do you counsel in a week, in a year? And they told me, well, maybe 1, 2, 3, those who have the courage. Otherwise, they are just like this multitude walking through. In the face of violence, incest, rape, domestic violence, polygamy, at this contemporary church in the country, there is a need for ordination for women with the situation. Culture is not permanent. It changes over time. Even it's not a Bible. It's a human-created rules and principles to guide a community, a society. When the world changes, when the development takes place, we have to adjust with that. And with this experience, the pain that I began within me, I also made a reflection on the issue of the ordination of women. When the former Bishop, Dr. Wesley Gigasung, in 2000, somewhere around 2008 or 6, at the Synod in Mount Again, when the issue of the ordination of women was raised, he said, behind my casket, behind my coffin, meaning that I am not in a position to allow women to be ordained. I must be gone, and that will eventuate. That was his word. Reverend Hans Gegere Wenge, he said, when the agenda was brought up before him as the head bishop, he said, our culture is very, very strong. It has no room for ordination for women. During the 19th conference in 2024 at Chiwaka, Reverend Dr. Jack Urame said, women have the potential to move the church. They have the ability. He has seen the church. He has heard the cries of women. And with the position as the head bishop, he is able to see the potential that women have. The church is reluctant to go with him. And this is the challenge that we have. But I feel timing is right. If Dr. Wesley Gigasung said, behind my casket or coffin, and if Hans Gegere Wenge said, former Bishop Gegere Wenge said, culture, with the challenge of the culture, women cannot, it's not possible. Today with Reverend Dr. Jack Urame said, I am able to see the potential women have. I do not doubt it. I have confidence. I feel timing is right and it's here. The strategies are, people lack the information. 1, 2, language is the barrier. We have 800 languages. One English word, you change it into talk pisin. When you interpret it, it may mean different when it goes down to the language of the people. Information changes from the original as it flows. Culture is another thing that I am seeing. So I feel when I had the opportunity to come here, I mentioned something in the women's conference with Doctor, and I'm saying this again. After I go back, I am thinking I must organize a conference For those who passed out from girls' school, from parish workers, from theology. We don't have the funds, but somehow I had to talk with the church, talk with the head bishop, hold a conference, conduct seminars, and while Reverend Dr. Jack Rame has 2 years to go, I'm volunteering to advocate for that.
Okay, so
I don't know how I can source funding, but I believe with trust and confidence in God, and if this is the pain of the women of ELCPNG, there's going to be a way out. And I am prepared for that. I've been challenged to my current position. I've already developed a hard skin. And I am 100% sure that with God's grace, there'll be a way out. And this, I'm already working on the strategies. Hemet ni muki amai. Anenara anu tu kene funa kemo. Muki kotra ne mogi. Mi api mo via ne. Ve mogi huo supatete. Mafane ya upemte patalage ute. Hageti nage mono via itrau tukumi telege feuna mo. Aito no sie. Hia mo fe. Hemet ni muki amogi tele pilte mo oke neta. Nagi memra notra ampo. Head Bishop Jeku Rame. Arife happening no. Ane nara ikita yikin tenge nagi. Ane mogi hiko iltea mono ilia pasta ilia chamu anale ni nipa mo inale enane. Tamage.
thank you.